This is Dan MacLeod, and this is my testing video for my computer science NEA. So the first test is for this input window to check if this subject field is empty. So when the programs initially run, we see all the subject fields are empty. So we get subject 1 is empty, subject 2 is empty, subject 3 is empty. So if we start putting stuff in here, we can use this drop down menu. If we fill this completely in, we get that this all the text goes away. The next test is to see if any of the subjects match with any of the other subjects, because you don't want the user to be able to say input maths twice, because that would completely mess up the next bit of the program. So say if we put psychology in here, see subjects match with each other, psychology, which tells the user what's matching and how, and basically what they need to change to make it work. So say we change this to economics, it'll mess that up. The next test is to see if any of these inputs contain a special character. So if I put in a $sign or a hash sign, see, we see subject 1 contains special characters, and again this works for all of the fields. The next test is to see whether any of these subjects, to make sure all of these subjects have at least one of these checkboxes filled in. So if we see right now, because none of them are checked to begin with, we see select a checkbox for subject 1, 2, and 3. So if we hit exam based here, we see that thing goes away. We could put coursework based here, and for this we could put both, and it would, you could put any combination of these being ticked. You just need at least one checkbox to be in there. The next test, which I sort of already did before, is making sure that this continue button gets enabled once all of these once all of the inputs are valid. So if we hit here, we see continue button goes from being grayed out and not clickable to now being able to be clicked. So the next test for my project is running my main program and seeing that it takes these inputs and does something with them. So I'm going to put, let's say, chemistry, computer science, and I will put in drama. So I'll say this is exam based, this is both, and this is entirely coursework based, and I'll say I'm a C in chemistry, a B in computer science, and an A in drama. But let's say I'm targeted an A star. I'm targeted a B in computer science and like a C in C in chemistry. And then this is my priority. So this is how important the user sees their subject as. So let's say they really think chemistry is an important subject, but don't really think computer science is that important, and then they think that drama is sort of middly important. We hit continue, and what it should do is it'll go to the ChatGPT API with a prompt, and it'll return an input. So we see it brings up our timetable, which is our main part of the program. Oops. And it comes back to us with a thing. So it'll say, to achieve an A star in drama and theatre studies, dedicate time to analysing texts, practising performance skills, and seeking feedback from teachers or professionals in the field. So this basically, it gives very, very specific tips for each of your subjects. So the next test is making sure that this populate cells button works. So what this should do is fill in these cells with tips for each subject. So if it was a coursework subject, it should just give coursework tips. Exam subject, just exam tips. And if it's subject that's both, so for this one I said computer science was both, it'll put computer science, it'll make that the most important. It'll put tips for exam and coursework in here. So if we hit populate cells, we see that for chemistry, we just get exam-based stuff. Yeah, we can also see that because of the priority I did, we're getting a lot of drama and theatre studies, and also that's also because of the low grade in drama. But the high target grade, it means that it's basically seen that and gone, well, that's the most important. The user has put that as high priority, and it's also a big difference between the grade and target grade, which means it's basically the most important thing, so it's gone and given that a high priority. And then say for computer science, we get tips for exams stuff, so we get continued focused revision on weaknesses, and we also get work on coursework because it's both. And we can see this also works for week B, so we've got week B and week A. We can also see that for every 12 subjects we get a free time, which basically means you get 4 free times every single week. The next test is checking the empty timetable button. So this is basically just to empty the timetable if you want to go again, or if you want to put some past commitments in, because I just say for this I just like hit the populate cells button, but if we want to put some stuff in beforehand, we need to empty it just so we can do that. So if let's say I put a couple put a few, so this would be like your prior commitment. So you would say, like, I don't know, you've got a lesson in school here, you would fill this out and hit populate cells, and you can see that these get left, so the program fills in everything but the stuff the past commitments you've got. The next one is checking that the exit button works. So what this should do is bring up a dialog with a save confirmation button. So basically saying, are you sure you want to exit? Do you not want to save your changes to a file before you exit? So if we hit exit, do you want to save changes before exiting? So if we hit no, it'll just close. If we hit yes, which I'm going to do, it'll say save successfully. We hit OK and it'll close. And if I go into here, we see that we get a save file for this. So we get a separate save file for week A and week B. So you can see that this has worked. Oh, the next test, which I've actually sort of already covered. Let me just reopen this quickly. The next test is making sure that this switch weeks button works, which it does. We can see that works. So, yeah, that is the testing for my NEA complete.